All that sounds to me so nice. All that sounds to me.
Hi, this is Mahesh Ravi, and in this video, we are going to create a vintage looking magazine cover. And it's not as simple as it sounds. I'm going to do this in a particular workflow utilizing a lot of AI tools. So, we're going to start by using ChatGPT for content recommendations. We're going to create a leader image using Midjourney. I'm going to choose the right typography from Adobe Fonts. We are going to explore the subtype treatment with Photoshop. We're going to build a mockup in Loom or Dream Machine. And we're going to use Recraft to assemble these mockups. We're going to build a documentation for this using Canva and ChatGPT. And we are going to upload this to Behance. Now, mind me, we actually don't need to use this many tools for this particular project. My intention was to actually introduce you to as many AI tools as possible to you with one video. So it's sort of like a fun exploration thing. This is not the fastest or the most efficient way yet, but the intention and the goal is to introduce you to more AI tools. So let's get started. We are going to create a magazine cover for a food magazine, and let's take a look at how to get content recommendations for it, because this is a portfolio project. This is not a commission project, so we might not have a brief. So let's think about how to get started with that and use an AI tool for it. Let's head over to ChatGPT, and we're going to go to ChatGPT, and we will ask ChatGPT to recommend things for us, content for us. So we'll just tell it that we are designing So we got, what I was doing here is that I asked for a cover. I was asking for a title. It gave us a couple of titles and some articles that we could use it, and then the issue number, stuff like that. Okay, this sounds good. Okay, so that works. There's no need to thank ChatGPT, but we're doing it so that it knows that the response that it generated is good enough, and it'll remember that for the next inquiry, right? So we have the content, right? We can choose one from here and we can start working on it. So what we need is, let's choose it. Let's make a selection. So out of this, we are going to take plated. So just write it here. Plated will be the name of the magazine. We're choosing that, and maybe I think that's fine. And these are the articles, right? I think we will take this will be the content that goes on the cover. Can you structure it? Yeah. So we got the final content, curated content in here. So plated is a magazine title, and we have this. This is actually good. Let it be here so that we can take it while we are designing it. So the title is going to be plated. So we need an idea for the cover, right? We need So I'm asking ChatGPT to create a prompt for the kind of image that I want. So it gave me a pretty interesting prompt that I can use. I'm going to take this. I'm not going to create the image here. This is the second stage. We're going to go use a different tool here. Probably we are going to use Midjourney. So let's head to Midjourney. So we are in Midjourney right now, and Midjourney recently released its version 7, which focuses on more quality and photorealism. So we are going to use that model. There is something called Draft as well, which creates the models a little faster, and it's sort of like a lab version of 7. So we'll go with standard right now. And what we'll do is we are going to set up the prompt. But before this, what we can do is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to personalize, and there are certain profiles that we can create right now so that it will basically use the aesthetics of our profile to create um, images. So what we are going to do is we're going to create a mood board here and go here, and we can basically add some images into this to create the style of images that we want. We can actually upload it from any sources of your computer. So I'm going to just open Midjourney and go to the Explore palette of Midjourney. I'm going to select some images from here. That probably might work. So I'm going to copy this image in this. So I'm just looking for the colors, the contrast, the realism, and things like that. So I'm going to just save some images. Okay, this is sort of is an interesting image. Okay, so we have. I think that's more than enough right now. So what we're going to do is we will upload those images from this. Right, we have 4 images, and what we are going to do is we are going to use this in prompt. So when we clicked it, this profile, this mood board became a profile, and it actually got added into this. So what we need to do is we need to copy our prompt from ChatGPT. I'm going to paste it right here, right here. So we have that. And we can go to settings and make sure that we are in version 7. We'll go with raw. We can go a little with the aesthetics, variety. We need a portrait image, and I think that works, and let's enter this. Now if we go to the create panel, we can see that our work is the prompt is being generated. Right, we have some images. Now if you look at this, you can see that how close it sticks to the image references that we gave, and it looks super realistic, really interesting, very candid, very ethnic. And that's also something that we actually said we need: ethnic, beautifully plated dish, natural expressions. All this is something that we took from ChatGPT, and we used it in here to generate something. And pretty much all the images will work. It is very modern. It has that Snapchat aesthetics, which will definitely work in a magazine right now. So we're going to take maybe something a little more, and I'm going to take this magazine cover, this image, and I'm going to use that in our design. So we will download this. So we might have to upscale the image a little better. So for this, for upscaling the image, we're going to use a different tool. So let's head over to Topaz. So I'm going to just go to Topaz Photo AI. Very simple tool. You can just drag and drop your image, and it will, you can upscale the image, you can correct your image, fix errors, maybe recover faces and things like that. So what we need to do is I'm just going to take the footage that we generated from Midjourney, drag and drop it right here, so we can see a side-by-side comparison. And right now it's the same. We haven't added any enhancements, and there are some suggestions to get you started. So we don't need a recover face because face is pretty clear. What we need is an upscale, right? A quality upscale of this. So we can see that the final resolution after upscale is going to be like this. We can see the upscale is not destroying the image, but it actually enhanced a lot of quality here, right? So it works really well. We can play around with this as well. That's the only thing I need. I don't need sharpen, I don't need denoise. I think everything else works. So once, if you're happy with it, you can export the image. So the original image was this size, and now it got 3x upscaled. So let's save that. So what we're going to do is we'll set up a design file. So I'm just going to go to Photoshop. Let's create a new file, and we'll choose print. We'll go for A4, and I think everything works. Just click create. We have this. We are going to bring in our image that we just created. So just go to file, place embedded, and we have our image. Place it, and it fits well. Okay. We have our image, which is good. Now what we are going to do is we are going to work on the image a little bit of corrections and things like that, right? So what we are going to do is I'm just going to go to levels. This is not really required, but what I'm saying is that this is an AI generated image. It's not a real photograph. So we might have to do a little bit of work here to make it look a little more authentic, right? So what we're going to do and try and do here is go to hue and saturation first, and you can raise up the saturation. So raising up the saturation at times might actually make the photo look a little more real. So you can try that. So you will see a point where the color starts breaking and all that. Don't break it like that, but a little bit of saturation will actually work well for your image. So I'm just going to use that. It's a smart filter, so I just created it like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to curves, image curves, and we can work at the input levels and the output levels. So if you just raise it, you can see what are the blacks. So if you want the photo to look like that, okay, it's a flash photography, there are going to be highlights on the face. To create effects like that, you can just play around with this. You can make it look like, okay, there was a flashlight used. These kind of tiny things will make your image look authentic, right? So I'm just going to raise it up a little bit. I'll click OK. I will go to levels now, and we can change the output levels. So if you change the output levels a little bit, this is 100% black. If you just bring it a little lower, you can start to see that it is starting to look a little more realistic on how to handle, how it handles light. So I'm just going to go a little down here. So this is before and this is after. It looks a little more vibrant. So we have it, and I'm going to create a noise. I'm just going to create a film noise, ISO noise effect on top of this. So what I usually do is I will create a new layer. I'll fit it with a 50% gray here. This on a new layer. Go to filter, filter gallery, and I'll choose green from the texture. And you can change this here also, but the grain actually works really well. You can increase the intensity, you can reduce it, you can change the grain type here to soft, crimp, and all that. So I think a little bit of grain is enough. I think there is something called a film grain as well that works. Now I'm going to click OK. So we have this layer created here. So what I will do here is I will change this blending mode of this green layer to lighten, so you can see how this is applying on top of the image, but this is too much. So what we need to do is reduce the opacity of this and keep it very light. So when you do this, you can also try something else. You take the grain layer and you bring down the level of it. So you will be able to see the grains really well and really natural if you bring it down. So you'll see the grains here in the darker areas and not so much in the light areas, and that's how film green works. So you can try doing that, and once you're happy with it, with the image, all those things, you can lock this, right? So what I usually try and do is I'll just take this, I'll make it into a group, and I'll call it image. So this is the final image that we are going to use in the cover of the magazine. Looks pretty decent, right? So the next step is the typography. So our title here, the magazine title, is plated. So I'm just going to write it down here, just with whatever typeface that comes in here. I'm going to write it here. So we have plated. Scale it up. Okay, this is there. Now what we are going to do is we are going to look for a typeface that suits here. So if you select this and if you just shuffle through this, it's not going to be a great experience, and also the chances of you making the wrong judgment might be more, right? So we are going to go to a type repository. I would recommend, there are so many type repositories available. Based on your budget, you can look for. We are in Adobe Fonts right now. Let's search for some typefaces. Just scroll down and we'll be seeing something. Browse all. here we can see what you're looking for. So it's basically what we are trying to say is that we just need English. We're looking for something which has a luxury vibe to it, maybe a little funky. I'm not sure. Yeah, funky also works. Let's take a look at the funky ones. This seems interesting. We'll just try it out, right? So sample text is going to be plated, and okay, it's sort of interesting. We'll just increase the text size, and we can see that here it looks kind of interesting. So this is available for us. So let's okay. So we're going to add this to our family. So click Add Family, and that is added. So now let's head back to Photoshop and see what we have. I'm just going to select this typeface, go and do some basic corrections. We don't need this to be like that. And let's go to double brass and bold. All right, this is looking interesting. I'm just going to scale it up a little bit, right? So we have it like this. Let's do some adjustments. Yes, that looks pretty interesting. So we have that taken care of. Let's go to the other content as well, right? Let's go here to our ChatGPT. And we have all the stuff. We have the issue info. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to take this, paste it here. We don't need it to be in the same typeface. So we'll try something a little more simpler. Okay. This is a mono typeface, Menlo. I'm just going to just change this to all caps, and I'm going to reduce the size of this. All right. Let's keep it right here next to that. All right. And okay, there is one more info. There is a bunch of articles that we want to post it here, right? So we're going to talk about that as well. This text. Where is that the article going to be? So we can maybe arrange it like this. I'm not sure. So let's try and see. We have these stuff. Okay, let's copy that and see. We definitely don't need the emojis, and I'm going to delete that. Okay, we have this. Right, so let's look at the treatment, as we have said. The title treatment, it looks decent. But what about the colors? I think white works, definitely it works. But what if we are going to play around with the colors a little bit, right? Something that sort of is inspired from this maybe, or something that is in here. Okay, I really like that one. It looks pretty cool. Slight bit of an off red, muted red in the magazine works really well. Now, this monotype typeface, it doesn't need too much of adjustments there. It works really well. But this might need a different treatment because of it's not very visible. It's not getting the attention that it actually requires. So we might have to do something about this. So let's go in here. Let's raise up the typeface, the size of it. Let's bring in this to 13. So we have something like this. Maybe we'll just change the typeface from Menlo to something else. Okay, the PT mono actually looks interesting. Just thinking about how to make this a little more visible. So let's try this. I'm not very sure about this, but let's give it a try. So we have this, and what I'm trying to do is I'm going to take the same style of illustration. So something like, okay, let's try that. Let's create a new layer. I'm going to go with this color. I'll randomly draw a highlight like this. Okay, I'm going to fill it with this color. Right. So that sort of works, right? So it has the same scheme, the treatment of the title, and sort of looks very jagged and all that. It is very visible. It works, right? So what we'll add is we will add a barcode into this and we'll finalize the design. So let's save it in cloud and we have this, right? Let's save a copy to our computer as well. Let's go to PNG and save that. Okay, let's close this. Let's get out of this. Right. So now we have the magazine ready. Our next step is build a mockup. We need to build a mockup. So to do this, we need a strong reference of a mockup. We can definitely use a mockup website and do this, but we are not going to do that today because we want to explore more tools, right? So I'm going to go to this tool called Visual Electric. This is an AI generated tool, but what I'm interested in is to see the mockups that are generated in here. So let's go to Inspo. Right, so this is the inspiration gallery. Then you can find a lot of interesting images here. So I'm just going to go through it and we'll see references. You can find a lot of interesting references, books, images, and all that stuff. So you might be able to find something which works, right? So this is an interesting A4 size magazine mockup thing. I'm just going to download this. We don't want to use the exact same image. We want to create variations of that. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Luma Dream Machine today. So in Luma Dream Machine, we are going to feed that inspiration. So we're going to say that, okay, just upload that image. And we want more images to be created like this. I need an A4 magazine mockup in this type. Make it photoreal with white background color. We got some images which are pretty similar to this, so you can see some really interesting mockups, right? What we can do is we can also modify this further, right? The other two to place the mockup. See, it's a very easy stuff. We can take it to Photoshop and paste it there, just change the blending mode and things like that, and we can easily do this. But again, I wanted to introduce you to a new tool where you can work with mockups. So I'm going to take you to Recraft, right? So let's go to Recraft here. So I'm in Recraft right now. I'm going to create a new project. So you upload the image here. All you have to do is click on this image that you uploaded, click on the mockup button, and it becomes a mockup. And your job is super easy right now. Drag and drop the image, the cover image that you generated into this. So you have your image right here. All you have to do is just drag and drop this into the mockup and you can see the magic happening, right? It just fits into the magazine like that. So that's it. It's super cool. And all we have to do is just select this, scale this down, and then match it how it should actually appear on the magazine. So we have a mockup ready. You can see how the light is affecting the image, everything, even the fold, how it actually works. All of that stuff is taken care of. The only problem in here is the hands, which is actually on top of it. It's still not able to do it that good a job right now, but this is a really interesting tool where your mockups are a little more easier. So what we're going to do right now, that since we created everything, we just create a documentation for this, and super easy, right? So all you have to do is, I need to create a simple. So you just write about the process that you used, right? Just keywords, and that's enough. So let's say mention about the use of AI tools in finding content, images, and editing. Tweaking the aesthetics to more realism using manual Photoshop techniques. Mention a few things about a natural vibe to the magazine cover design. So we just gave the inputs and it gave us everything that we need for the documentation. Now this is not really important. We'll write that. Okay, can you make this into 4 small paragraphs with a product intro. That's it. So we have our documentation. Now it's time to design this, right? Design your documentation. That's very critical. So let's go to Canva and let's create a documentation for Behance. So we're going to create a new design. Let's go with presentations, choose a random presentation deck. And what we'll do is we'll just create a cover design, right? So for this, we can use the mockup that we just generated. So let's go and find the mockup. Yes, might be more than enough. So let's bring it in. So I think one side is fine. We'll compensate it with another color in here. We can pick it from here itself, the photo colors. I think that works. So let's add a heading here. So we'll write magazine cover design. Let's bring it down. This is fine. Created is our title. Just make it a little bigger. Okay. Oh, this is fine. We can make it a little bold. Bring the spacing down. Make it a little more smaller. I think this is fine. You can add your name and stuff as well. So maybe your name, what kind of design that you're doing. You can put all of that here and keep generating more pages for this. So let's say maybe write a little more about the project, and you have this stuff here. Copy that, and that's content, right, which is going to be useful. So you can maybe take the cover design, put it there, the whole design here, duplicate again, maybe something a little fun. You can just try different things and just exploring here. Right, maybe bring in that mockup image, or if you have different mockups. I just created only one, so you can use more stuff here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is more than enough. As I told you, this I'm just playing around with one mockup, but if you have more, it will be really interesting, right? So once you download all of this, just go to download, take a PNG and download everything. I'm going to try something a little more interesting to add a little more of fun to our portfolio project, right? So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go back to Luma. We're going to change this to keyframe. Say that somebody picks up this magazine. Do not edit the magazine cover. We can also add some stuff like camera movements. So it's going to be handheld, static, zoom in, zoom out, things like that. I think we can make it a little handheld, just like that. Okay, once we have it, just render. When it's getting ready, we'll go to Behance and start documenting it. So let's go to Behance, share your work, click to create a project. All we have to do right now is just come to images, upload all the 4 images that we have, and it just comes in just like that. All we have to do here is this space is slightly annoying, so just click on the styles and reduce the content spacing so it looks like one seamless document, right? So it just clearly talks about everything that they want to know about this project. Right. So we have the video generated. It's pretty pretty rad. It's very handheld. Towards the end, it is sort of like getting a little destroyed, but that's fine. We don't need that much of video. So what we're going to do is we're going to just download it. We can upscale the video from here, but so once we have it, let's head back to Canva. And instead of this image that we used in the cover, we are going to open and use the magazine mockup that we created. So let's delete this one and let's put it here instead. Would be an interesting idea. So we have that. It's right here. We're going to go to share, download, and instead of PDF, we're going to just take a GIF file out from here. Click download. We'll replace this image. So let's go to edit, replace image, and we will change it with the GIF that we have. All right, so this is how we have our document. It creates a really interesting, dramatic, chaotic intro to your project, and it's the documentation. Everything is done, and all you have to do is publish this. One very important thing that you need to care about is the thumbnail that you use. So just go to edit thumbnail image and maybe upload it. If you don't have an image that you can use from here, just go to upload and maybe take the mockup image that we used. Be this, upload that. And that could be the mockup. Give the project titles and everything properly, just publish the project, right? So I just wanted to remind you that this is not a design tutorial per se. I just wanted to say, I wanted to show you that how all these tools can be leveraged into your workflow, making it function much more faster, efficient, and attractive, right? So hope this helps. I'll see you with another video soon. Till then, bye-bye.